Composer Garo takes the chill scent of Valhalla cyberpunk bartender action that he's most known for into a twisted reiteration better appropriate for the horror game Yuppie Psycho. Taking on the role of a young, hesitant new office worker who quickly discovers his company isn't quite what it seems to be, Yuppie Psycho has a sound that is both retro and can be downright scary. The soundtrack not only succeeds in conveying the game's combination of nostalgia and dystopian themes, it also provides strong music overall that can be enjoyed outside of the game's context. Yuppie Psycho's soundtrack not only succeeds in enhancing the game's experience, but provides music that is just downright killer.
Superliminal is a very simple box-on-switch style puzzle platformer that cribs its styles from the Stanley Parable and Portal. It's a well-tread presentation in indie gaming, but Superliminal uses this as a container to explore a very simple mechanic. Any object you're holding adapts to fit the perspective of your view. So if you hold a Coke can above you towards the ceiling, it'll look big and far away. But if you hold it down towards your feet, it'll look really close and small. And when you drop it, that's what size it is. It's all about perspective. After a variety of block puzzles and perspective-based puzzles, things get even more exciting when you start shrinking and growing doorways that contain entire worlds inside of them. You'll pick up a regular object, and that object becomes the entire next room. And you can make that object really big, so you can enter it as small as a mouse and get around like some tight little spaces and stuff. Or you could put that same room down, making it very small so that you can be large inside of it and get to the higher areas. It's like that level in Super Mario 64 where you can be giant or tiny Mario, but it's all done in real time. Alice in Wonderland meets Kirby in Dreamland. From one angle, you could overlook Superliminal as a game wrapped up in the shadows of similarly styled games, but if you change your angle of approach, you'll see that it stands proudly on the shoulders of giants. It's just a matter of perspective.
To me, Sekiro is an immaculate game. It's a beautifully polished and remarkably fun action game made by FromSoft, the people who already made 5 other games that all fit within the same formula of a Dark Souls game. While still clearly in that lineage, Sekiro is different. Sekiro is fast-paced, playing less like a sword and shield action RPG and more like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. You square off with opponents twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times your size, and yet they treat you as equals. You block their attack strings, and you attack with your own. You apply the pressure. They block your strings and attack back with theirs. It's an intricate dance with different types of attacks requiring different types of counters. Some enemies are best fought sprinting around them in circles at top speed, while others are in close with you face to face. The process of learning their attacks is intimate, and you feel like you know these characters better after having landed a final death blow, leading to their demise. The game is brutal, often trying to intimidate, but like an old sword master to a student, it wants you to improve and to match its skill, and hopefully someday surpass it. The appeal for a lot of people when it comes to Souls-like games is the gratification of beating a hard boss. Sekiro is purely focused on beating you into a pulp until it can deliver that satisfaction to you. It gets rid of the trappings that make Souls games easier and more digestible, like online co-op or huge magic systems, and instead gives you a set of tools and says, complete your task, Shinobi. And I do. Again, and again, and again. Block, block, attack, attack. Block, dodge, attack, Mikiri counter, death blow. Shinobi execution.
Game Freak is a company that has never heard the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nearly every new Pokemon game completely reinvents some portion of the series that either breaks or changes something that players enjoyed from previous titles. While it has always been frustrating, it has never been as bad as Pokemon Sword and Shield's online functionalities. Before, you could directly request trades, battles, or other features with specific people on your friends list, with no randomness unless you specifically asked for it through Wonder Trading. Now, you have to match up by using 4-digit codes, which anyone else in the world can also randomly use. There is no guarantee you're connecting to the person that you want. The Switch has built-in friends lists that Pokemon Sword and Shield completely ignores. It is unfathomable that Game Freak decided to ditch the online groundwork they made over a decade ago that, while not perfect, worked fine. But I guess we didn't need any of those other cut features, right?
The original Devil May Cry series has returned with what is almost undeniably the crown jewel of the character action subgenre. Never have even the most basic of motions like a 3-hit combo or a stinger felt smoother or more impactful than they do now. Nero's brutish and ruthless attacks, Dante's cocky acrobatics, and newcomer V's chess master-like commandeering of his servants are some of the best examples of games conveying a personality purely through play. Combined with a design approach that exhausts nearly every possible input in a controller and a full roster of enemies that stress all character movesets in different ways, engaging with DMC5's combat at even its most basic level is a superlatively satisfying experience, already dripping with more depth than any other third-person action title.
Of your existence or your strength.
Both, you fucking asshole!
By the time you start experimenting with higher level mechanics like parrying and switch cancelling, DMC5 has even more to offer, such as charge moves or Dante and Nero using taunts to jump, taunts to juggle, and the charmingly bizarre bring and knuckle system. Not to mention the dozens upon dozens of edge case uses for the many Devil Breakers, weapon and style combinations, and character specific boss interactions. All of this adds up to make DMC5 a fully loaded creative kit, allowing you to freely express your artistic sensibilities through the medium of slaughtering demons.